Must it on your
Ashley,
chin.
get off the phone.
Ho.
Okay, wait, hold on. What's up, y'all? It's Ashley.
I'm Fee.
It's Melanie.
And Codie here. And you've tapped into
The Mama's Den.
What is happening in the den? Yo, all right, welcome to the Mama's Den. I'm Codie Elena Oliver. I am here on the YouTube, on the Apple Podcasts, on the Spotifys, and I am 1/4 of the Mama's Den. Hello,
Hi.
ladies.
And you got on them sexy heels today.
Sexy heels.
Sexy heels. And the things you
Yes, if you're watching us on YouTube, you can see my sexy heels.
Really into this ponytail rugby shirt heels. Swing
It's
it
giving,
again for
it's
me.
giving
Flip it again
sexy
for
mom
me.
teacher.
Yes, look the other
Educator.
way.
Sexy mom teacher.
Look that way and then look at
Which
me.
way?
Look that way and then turn and look at me slowly. Like,
Slowly?
yeah, just
But
come
you
in.
don't want it to move?
Ooh. But do
Oh,
it. Give me eyes. Give me eyes.
Okay. Oh, okay. Good luck with this. Hold
Ready?
on. I don't have eyes.
You was doing it.
You did. You
'Cause
started.
You were doing it.
You started and then you doubted yourself.
Again. Commit to it. Commit. Ready? 1, 2, 3, go. That's right. Talk to me nice.
I was into it.
That turned me on.
I like watching it. It's fine.
Okay, somebody send Tommy this video, okay? Because I can't do that again.
Ooh, okay.
Well, yeah, I'm Codie. Who are y'all?
Who are y'all? I'm Melanie. I don't have on sexy heels. I have two kids.
Sexy
Cameron.
Doc Martens.
I do have sexy Doc
They are
Martens.
giving.
It's giving.
Yeah.
Is it giving S&M?
It is
It's giving
a little.
step on your. Anyways, where has this episode started? Okay,
And where will it go?
and where is it going? I have two kids,
Okay. How old are they?
8 and 3.
Okay.
No, that's right.
Yes.
Hi, my name is Ashley Serrano Cochia. And that's my name.
All 4
And-
of them.
Yeah, it is. And did you know that all of my letters in my names are all 6? It's 6.
Letters?
Yeah, every single
Not
one.
all of my letters in my name
Not
is
your
6.
last name.
Hinton.
Oh,
Yeah, my birth name. Yeah.
your birth name.
My brother
That's
used to say I
wild,
was a
but
demon
not
because it's like
Chia.
666. Isn't that mean? I have 4 kids, and I'm just gonna say 16. I'm just gonna step into it. 16, 8, 6, 3. Whew, every time. It's
That's a lot of
struggle.
kids, friend.
It is. It is.
And we're missing 1/4 of our
We are.
Felicia's
Felicia.
handling the damn business.
We miss you, Fee.
We miss you, Fee.
We do.
Where
I
are
do.
you? Come back.
Come back.
Come back to
back
me.
to
Come on home.
Okay, y'all.
All the songs.
What is new in the den?
What's new and exciting with you guys?
Yeah, what's going on, Ponytail?
First of all, y'all, I found out that Nike did a Howard collection with Jordan. How do I say that?
It's Nike.
What's the cool way to say this? I don't know.
Jordan-
it's
it's
a
a
Jordan,
Jordan and Howard
Nike Howard collab.
There you go.
And so I immediately bought up some things, including my, not polo, my rugby shirt.
Yes.
My rugby, I'm not cool, so they had to teach me what my shirt was. It's a rugby shirt.
She definitely tried to play me. Say I'm gonna
Soup's
Google
cute.
it.
No, I definitely thought it was a polo.
It's okay.
Soup's cute, so excited.
Soup's cute.
What are you, 12?
Love it. Soup's
Maybe.
cute.
Yo, speaking of 12, my children and the 6-year-olds have learned this from the 8-year-old. The word that Brooks has been saying is sus. Everything is sus.
Girl, welcome to the club.
Yes.
Wait till he starts saying Skibbity Riz, Ohio.
Oh, that's what I was gonna say.
Wait till he starts saying yacht. Wait till he starts saying sus. Just be like, wait till he starts saying treat me like YT.
Oh my
Don't
God.
get me dirty. Wait till he starts going like this. Riz. I'm the Riz.
Girl,
Wait.
my babies, they'll pick one word, okay, and they just wear it out.
Sus.
Yeah,
So we'll get one of them late, and then we're going to wear that out.
No, just start we just have to like throw our kids together so we can get all the words out at once because I think it's taking a while
It's
to
a
reach
whole
your
new
child.
vocabulary now.
Yes.
That's
Yeah.
hilarious.
So
Okay,
that's
well, we
what's
love
new
that.
with
We
me.
love this new.
And I'm saving this shirt for 8 years until Brooks can wear it.
Girl, he gonna be able to fit that sooner
Than that. Yeah.
Oh, great. I love that for us.
Yeah.
Which also brings me to our topic, but what's new with you, Ashley?
Oh, nothing. So what's the topic?
Nothing.
Nothing at all.
Something's new.
Nothing. Nothing. Nothing.
Oh, my goodness.
Did we talk about your tooth? How are you feeling?
Oh, that's terrible.
Oh, my.
That's terrible. I mean, I got the beginning process of getting an implant. So I don't know. There was like a meme that said, "Why are all the black people born certain like time frame,
Yes.
missing her back tooth.
Missing a tooth, right?
And it's usually in the back.
Why did, when you had this conversation, we hit the chat and everybody in our chat sent a picture of their open mouth with a missing tooth, except for me.
Because you're Canadian.
I'm Canadian.
You have different
That's
healthcare.
hilarious. Wait, Felicia was missing one too?
Felicia was
Felicia
missing
was
one. You
too.
said one. You said one. I was like, oh my
Everybody.
gosh. Everybody
Maybe
missing
we'll
a
drop
tooth.
those pictures on in the broadcast channel on Instagram.
Pay for it.
The
Ka-ching.
thing is most people are lucky that it's so far back there that you never see it.
Mine has been out since 2019.
Mine has been out since I was 17 So
Damn.
I don't know what year that
That's
was.
aggressive.
I'm
Wow.
40, so I don't
Oh
know
my
what year that
God.
was. Yeah,
What happened to it at that time?
girl, poverty. I couldn't afford dental care,
No,
so I
how
needed
did it-
I needed a root canal,
Okay.
and I could not get it, and so it got so bad they had to just extract it, and then they were like, "You need an implant,"
we'll
and I
deal
was
with
like,
this
"If I
later.
couldn't afford a goddamn root canal, you think I could afford an implant in my mouth? No." So, and obviously, like the quality of the material of what teeth have been made of and how they were doing fillings, everybody's like, I have a lot of friends who are getting all their fillings replaced now because they were using like silvers and metals. So
Yeah.
I obviously got a porcelain tooth, so that costs a little bit more, but they have to drill into your bone and your gum and like screw it in there, and they put this screw in there, and then it has like a little black cap, and it has to stay there for 4 months so that your mouth can heal, and then they put the implant on top of it. So I'm not even there yet, girl.
Well,
We just
you know
on
what,
level
Ashley?
1.
What I hear when you say this is that you have arrived. There was a time you
Period.
couldn't afford an implant. And now she's going to get a tooth, y'all.
A porcelain
Ow.
Porcelain. Okay.
Success, black wealth.
Porcelain.
That is black wealth, where you can get your teeth fixed.
Right?
Teeth is.
I love this for you.
Yeah, but that's it. Nothing extraordinary is happening in my life other than I am, a mother.
Extraordinary blessed.
Yeah, I
Yes,
am. I'm very blessed. Don't get me wrong.
Extraordinarily.
But I think I'm like kind of in I don't know. I'm in a space in the middle when it comes to like my career and all of the things. I keep saying I'm just a mom, but like,
And I keep telling you not to say that.
I'm mothering heavily right now. That is like my that's
Calling.
That's what I'm doing. Well, no,
called.
that's just what I'm doing because I ain't got shit else to do.
You don't have time.
I don't, and I would like some time, but it's okay. I love my kids. I love being their mother. It'll all work out. So I'm just here.
She doesn't like some time bad enough to say yes when I offer
Girl, let it go
to take
with
the
God.
children.
She
No, I'm just going to keep bringing it up.
Watch my children.
I said I will bring all the children together. They can watch a movie and you can just have 2 hours to yourself. And she was like,
That's not enough. Ashley
No.
wants a
if
solid
it's not
8.
3 days,
yeah,
then it's not enough.
and sometimes it is well meaning, but it is more work for me to like get my kids together and take them somewhere. Even when I remember, I used to drive me insane when Amira was little, and people would be like, "Bring her to my house," and I'm like, I don't want to do that. Can you just come here and watch them? And it was nothing against you. It's just like I just didn't feel like getting them dressed, getting them like, no, like if you're not coming to my house to watch my kids, I'm probably not taking
Girl,
them
if
to
I
your
said
house.
I'm going to come to your house to watch your kids, you would also be like, no.
Were you bringing all of your children?
Because yes, they're my children. Do you see the problem? There's
Overwhelms
no
me.
way to help
There's
her.
so many
There's no way
children
to
in
help
my
her.
home.
But
Oh
you
my
don't have to
God.
be
7
there.
children
That's
is
the
a
whole
lot.
point.
7 kids is a lot.
That's why I'm exactly why you should go, and I will take them because
Okay.
I'm not worried about it. But you know what?
Okay.
That's okay. She'll come to it.
I
Just the
will-
same way it took her 4 years to get a nanny.
Okay. I'm getting there. I love you guys. I trust you guys. I appreciate you guys. I'm on this journey. I'm just journeying.
Journeying.
I'm journeying.
Are you journaling?
I don't know what I'm doing.
Message.
Also, my husband would get on my nerves, so there's that too.
Well,
So-
on theme
Yeah.
for today's episode.
Yes, now we're 30 minutes in and we're announcing the theme. Okay. So my shirt made me think of like what I wanted to talk about today because I wanted to talk about, and we get asked this
Rugby.
a lot. No, bitch.
Fighting.
Howard.
Yes.
Sports.
We get asked this a lot. Like, what do y'all do when you disagree with your spouse about parenting?
Oh, okay.
Right. And so this one's kind of deep. There's lots of disagreements that we have, and I actually made a list of Tommy approved topics that I could bring up because the reality is like. That's something I think about a lot too, is like when you are partnered with someone and you're parenting, sometimes you disagree on how to raise them or like what they should be doing at this age or that age or whatever. And it's like, how do you get through that? Or how do you not just be like, you stupid, I want to do it my way. You know what I mean? Like sometimes you have to be more mature than that. So
Do you?
fair question. Do you? So one disagreement that we have that the shirt made me think of, it's not like the biggest, but
I'm making a lot of noise.
That's okay.
Sorry.
Live your life.
Go ahead and open it real quick.
Okay, we're busting wide open this coffee.
We're busting open the coffee.
It's a lot
'Cause
happening. This is my life.
We are people who need to be caffeinated. No judgment.
Yeah, this is my second chai tea of the day.
Is there any left?
Why, you want some?
Yeah, but not now. I have a little coffee in mine. Okay. One of the disagreements that we have is about HBCUs.
Oh, really?
Specifically
About what?
HBCUs.
Oh,
Riveting.
Specifically,
as you're wearing this.
yeah,
tell us
that's
more.
what made me. That's what reminded me. Specifically, as it relates to our oldest, who has always exhibited signs of like exceptional learning abilities.
He's gifted.
Yes, he is gifted, and so I have to caveat that because I understand where Tommy's coming from. I'll explain. But I'm also like, can we just like wait to discuss this because there's pros and cons. And so I'll give you the baseline. For example, Tommy feels that if our oldest were to become a doctor, for example, he's like, that's a waste of his gifts. He should be an astronaut. When you think about the child, that kind of makes sense. But at the same time, not that doctors aren't smart. Okay, my whole family's
what about
doctors.
a surgeon?
That's why I'm using. Sure, they're all smart, but there's a certain amount of intellect
versus skill.
Right, intellect versus skill. Yeah, that's required and honed. That is just different. So this is a conversation that we've had. This is a statement that my husband has made that he approved me sharing today.
No, this is deep.
that like that would be a waste of the particular skill, intellect, and gifts that he has if he is a doctor and not an astronaut. And I'm using those two as examples. That's the exact conversation we've had, which is also why he's like, HBCUs, Howard in particular, fantastic. But undoubtedly, this is the Tommy perspective, undoubtedly like MIT is where he needs to be with the gifts that he has, right? And so I'm just like, this is a real conversation. Why are you making all those faces?
Because I am. Continue.
Obviously, I have an opinion
I have
that is very different than Tommy's.
Yeah.
And so
because that's like low-key coded.
Sure.
Okay.
I am not trying to necessarily debate his opinion versus my opinion, but when you have such a deep disagreement about something so substantial, because no matter the gifts and the intellect and the skill, I feel like, number one, HBCUs are a safe space, right? Even when he uses like politicians and people who've excelled who often went to like an HBCU for grad school, he's like, but they still did this for undergrad. So that's his perspective. Okay. But my point is, when you have such a large disagreement about something so significant, how do you not just say, well, you're not going to have a say, brother? You know what I'm saying?
Well, neither one of you are, which is
You're
what you
not
don't
wrong.
even believe, which I know will probably be true. He ain't going to probably do either.
Ooh.
I mean, Jared has always been like, Kaya's going to go to NYU. I was like, she may never see the inside of a college. Like, she may never.
Colleges
like, these
won't exist.
These kids, who is the Department of Education? No, like, really. No, really.
They will probably do a better job.
But no, really. But that's I think that's what it comes down to. I think specifically just about an issue like this, when it comes to what you want for your children's future versus how you're parenting them, right?
Yeah.
We don't know. Like, our children's future, we have all the ideas of what we want our children's future to look like, but they're ultimately going to make choices and decisions that are going to determine that.
But also, what are you introducing them to?
Well, that's true too. I mean, but I think that from your perspective, in this particular situation, you guys are both introducing these ideas separately. And I think that that's actually also important as parenting when it comes to your kids, like letting them know all the things that are available. What speaks to you? What do you feel like you're drawn to? What do you okay, you want to go tour MIT and Howard? Let's go.
You actually just gave me a good idea, like an answer to, because this is a years long conversation that we've been having. And maybe ultimately from a parenting standpoint, he and I need to agree that neither of us will push him or them in a direction.
In other words, ain't nobody taking any trips anywhere, but I'm just going to take him on a boys trip or a girls trip and then come back with all the MIT
like
stuff.
I'm going to represent.
Right.
And I'm sure he will do the same. But we have to agree that the line is we're not going to tell him what to do or where to go. We'll agree on tours one day. So truly, it's now very simple in my brain, but I was like, I want to fight you because.
But also, I think of it too, like me and Chia aren't the same religion. And we just agreed to introduce our children to ourselves, individually. Yeah. And so within that, your child will make their own decision. Our children could look at me and be like, oh, she is a crazy kind of Muslim. You know what I mean? That's ghetto. I don't want to do that. Or they could look at their dad like, Buddhism, he seems so calm. It might be the option for me. You know what I mean? I don't know, but I think that our children will be called to be who they are.
Yeah.
Really, it's about the environment that you raise your child in where they feel honored to be themselves, regardless of what their parents want. That really has to be you and Tommy's focus, because I think it's actually okay if you go hard for Howard and he goes hard for MIT. Like, great. Like, because you think about people whose parents like different sports or different opposing sporting teams or whatever. Like, my mom was a big this fan or whatever. Like, and it's cute and it's a thing. And
well, this is less cute, but
well, it's less cute to you. But I think if you, speaking of marriages in general, right? One thing that I've accepted is that me and Chia are just different people. And if I want to stay married, I have to accept the fact that he's just not going to do things the way that I want him to do them. Like, it's just never going to happen. Do you know what I mean? So I think a lot of my maturity in our marriage is starting to be of me being like, I'm just going to let him do things the way that he wants to do them.
Okay, but what's an example of something where you feel very strongly and he feels very strongly? Like, there are plenty of things where we choose, I'm just gonna let this go. I want to know from y'all, what are the things where you're like, I do not.
Oh, every single thing. Chia is too relaxed in most areas that I'm not. You know what I mean? In parenting. And the thing is like we're the complete opposite. I get like immediately want to say something to our kids about something. He wants to be more relaxed, but then when it keeps happening, I'm just like, fine, I'm letting it go. I don't care anymore. And then he gets super upset, and I'm like, well, if you would have said something in the first place, we wouldn't be here right now, because you was being all chill and Buddha-like. You know what I mean? And I just feel like we approach everything very differently. Everything. And it could be an everyday argument. I just have decided that I'm not going to say anything about 99% of the things that he does, except for the things that really, really, really bother me.
Like what?
Like the way, this is just my marriage. It's very important to me.
No, I got you.
No, I mean, like recently, like we were just getting into it a lot about like how our day goes. For example, like there's just so many things. I don't even know where to begin. There's so many things that are stressing me out right now. It was just like, they're dumb things. So I feel like I like to preference this with like, I love my husband. We have a great marriage, and he's
every week.
He's my partner. No, but I feel like some people, okay, let me say this. I'm talking a lot. I'm rambling. Let me start with this. And I'm not being shady. There are different types of marriages, right? So some people are not getting their basic needs met, which is like fidelity and general respect in their marriage. So when I talk about my marriage, sometimes I don't feel comfortable doing it because I'm past that point.
The grand scheme is that he's positive. It's
good.
Yeah,
but a lot of people aren't getting their basic needs met. So when you hear someone like me talk about or complain in my marriage, people are like, oh my God, like she's tripping. And I'm like, no, you're still at level 1. And I'm not being shady. It's just like, girl, like that bare minimum is someone being faithful to you and respecting you as an individual. Like that should be bare minimum to me in a relationship. So then once you get past that, now we're talking about like real things where you have to engage with someone every single day and like communicate and try to like compromise. And those are the little things are what really matter in a marriage. Like it's the littlest shit. How someone like cleans up after themselves in the morning. Do you know what I mean? Do you pick up after yourself? Are you walking past something 15 mother effing times and then I'm the person who walks past and picks it up and like, so none of y'all saw this right here? Do you know what I mean? Like those are the things that could end your marriage. So it's like, yes. It's usually not like infidelity or anything like that. When people are like, why'd y'all get divorced? The little things you kept nitpicking. Yeah. Then when something big happens,
it breaks it.
Because now I've been irritated.
Yeah, cracks in the foundation.
Exactly. Yeah. What were you about to say?
Well, I'm saying I'm not even talking about just like marital ending things as much as like
that's how it starts.
As people who are married and partnered who are raising children, there are going to be things like if Chia, I have no idea the original conversations y'all had around homeschooling, but if for some reason he was like, no, absolutely not. Like
That would never happen.
But right, I feel like
so
y'all
nobody's
just
drawing a
agree on
hard
everything.
line when it comes to the parenting with you guys.
any
'Cause
piece of
you
it.
guys are fairly aligned.
Because I would never have married someone who hard-lined me.
Yeah.
That's not going to work with
That's
me
fair.
and my personality.
Girl, I get a lot of hard lines.
Yeah,
Tommy is
well-
a boundary creator. Like,
Yeah.
he sets his boundaries.
And I think that you guys didn't date very long.
Nope.
So, these are things that you have to know. We're in the same boat. The only difference is I knew Chia for 4 years before we ever dated. But I would never have slept with him none of that if I hadn't known him, because I know my personality and I cannot deal with hardline people because I present that way, but I'm actually not like that. I'm actually very flowing, will change my mind very quickly, and I'll be like, okay, cool, whatever. So I can't be with someone that is like that. It's not going to work for me and how I live my life, because I know I'm going to change my mind. So for us, Chia and I had these talks. I was like, the hard lines for me were, though, that my children are never going to eat pork while they're living in my household, and we're never bringing pork in our household. That was like and I said, I'm going to homeschool my kids. Those were the only two things, non-negotiables for me. And if he wasn't cool with that, then he could have walked away. But he was like, all right. I'm like, everything else, whatever, we'll figure it out as we go. As long as you cool with that, then I'm open to whatever you suggest. It's just that Chia gets in his mind about how he wants to do something, and he's actually not as go with the flow as I thought he was, or that he thought he was. And that there lies the issue. Do you know what I mean? Because now we've created a system, and when I want to change the system, if I feel like it's not working, he is a regimented, ritualistic person. Very ritualistic, and that's what brings him peace and comfort because of how he grew up, right? So for me, that creates a lot of conflict, because when I want to change the plans or do something, he's like, no, because we said we were going to do da-da-da-da-da. And I'm like, well, I don't want to do that no more. And I thought we talked about this 16 years ago, that I'm going to change my mind.
Not 16 years ago.
Yeah.
Melanie, do you and Jared, or have you had any like real disagreements or hard lines on a parenting decision that you had to navigate?
So I think I shared an example or a story on a few episodes ago where we were at the park and
The
our
bicycle?
tires
Yep.
got
yeah.
That's
flat,
exactly what I was thinking
and we
about.
talked about like the best way to approach and introducing the concept of danger or bad people, or Jared was like, it was very interesting for me to hear his perspective and then think, like, that just sounds crazy. Like, why would you even instill that level of fear in this 7-year-old right now? Like, it's uncalled for. Like, there's a different way to have that conversation, in my opinion.
Yeah.
And we really did have a moment where, like, I was like, this is crazy. Like, and it actually amplified the fact that you can have a partner and think, okay, this is a good person. We're raising these kids together. I love that I chose to have kids with this person. But things come up along the way where you're just like, wait a second.
Yes.
Like, where'd that come from?
Yeah, where'd that come from? Like, what? That doesn't feel aligned with who we are, who I thought you were. And you got to remember, like, people change. Like, people are changing all the time. So sometimes on any given day, he might be like, nah, this is the mood I'm in and this is the energy I'm going to bring. And it's like, wait a second, that doesn't, hold on. So I shared that story before, and I remember I asked my dad, I think, and my dad was...
Wait, the recap was that you guys were at the park.
So the recap is we were at the park, and Cameron's tires, we went on a bike ride as a family, rode to the park, parked the bikes, went on the playgrounds. Sunset comes, we get back to our bikes, and Cameron's tires are popped and blown out. And Jared immediately goes to, somebody popped his tires.
I would have thought that too.
And I was like, why would somebody have popped his tires? Like, first of all, like, he's
Traffic him.
To traffic him.
with his mom and dad right here, right? So like, so it was just like, he's like, what if they're trying to slow us down to get back home because they know we're not home? And like, he started going off and be like, what if somebody's trying to do? And then his tires were also popped. It's like, somebody's definitely
That
after
is
us.
weird.
And I also was just like, guys, can we take into account that we rode through a bike path in the woods?
Oh.
So we get home, and of course we find all these little splinter things in the tires that literally pop their tires. And I was like, can you go show Cameron these, please? To just let him know that nobody is actually trying to sabotage us. And I could not understand Jared's thinking about why he would get so like, no, somebody did this to us. Because that doesn't even normally feel like his personality, right? Yeah. And then I asked my dad, and my dad had a similar, the first thing my dad said, somebody tried to rob you guys? First thing.
Wow.
And I was like, well, wait, maybe this is a male
Fear.
dad protective perspective that I'm just not aware of or considering.
Yeah.
Because I'm over here protecting the mindset of my children. Right?
Yeah.
So that was one thing that I really was just like, oh, and it really amplified the fact that aside from being partners in marriage, when you have children with somebody, you also have to be in constant communication about your views and alignment about how to raise the children. Because you might think you're aligned because you had kids with somebody and you love that person, but the way they might do something with your kids who's also their kids as well, so they feel entitled to do what they want to do with their kids.
Oh yeah.
And I've
Exactly.
had
And they're their kids too. Huh?
Yes, that's their kids too, right? And so, and I've had, Jared, like there's been times where, and I'll say this from this perspective, because I consider myself the primary parent. I am the one that is responsible for the systems that have been put in place from our children from birth till right now. The times they've gone to sleep, all of their necessities as far as what brands of diapers they use, their toothbrushes, their shoe sizes, their uniforms, everything has been on me. So I set the schedule for how their day goes. So sometimes Jared will be gone all day for work, come home, and I'm like, all right, these kids are getting ready for bed, and he will turn them up because he's been gone all day and the kids are so excited to see him. And I'm just like, wait a second. Wait a second now. I used to get so upset. Now I just walk away and I'm just like, oh, I guess you're putting them to sleep then. And I literally walk away. Because I used to take it so personally, like, you don't respect the amount of effort I've put in all day because you haven't been here, and I've been trying to keep these kids on a schedule so that it makes it easier on us, and then you let them feel like we could just break the schedule. And I used to take that so personally. And now I'm just like, okay, well, you're their daddy, put them to sleep. And I leave. And I go and do what I got to do because it's none of my business after that. Now you've taken on the responsibility of whatever chaos comes.
Right.
So, I think there's points and there's subject matters that absolutely require like a very intentional conversation of, hey, when you said this, I didn't think that was cool. I don't like the way you said that to the kids, or I don't think that that's actually the vision or the goal that we're trying to achieve here for our children. And here's how it could be harmful or whatever it is. Right. But then also there's also other times that's just like, that's their dad. I trust them. They're safe with him. And if the rules get broken today and it doesn't derail the moral compass of our family, do you, boo? I gotta go. So I think it's kind of like just give and take a little bit all the time. But I will say that, when it comes to us as individuals, parents, husbands, partners, wives, whatever, I think it's really important that we recognize that our children are not just watching. They're not just listening to us, they're watching us. Yeah. Right? So they're watching how we move about the world as individuals, and they're watching how we as parents team up, collaborate, align, and divide. They're watching that and they're paying attention. That's how kids learn how to like manipulate parents, because they're like, oh, if my mom says no, I know dad's going to say yes. Right? So I always think it's important that parents they're always aligned and they have each other's back. Like one thing that Jared has done that I literally be like, don't do that, is he'll be like the kids will come and be like, oh, can we watch something? Right? And he'll be like, sure. And I'll be like, I just told them they couldn't watch something because ... And he's like, oh, I didn't know. And he'll be like, well, your mom said no. And I'm like, hold on a second. It's not just like your mom said no, I'm the bad guy.
Girl, I hate when he does that.
It's not just like your mom said no. It's just be like, oh, I didn't know your mom said no. Okay, we're not doing this right now, And so he's now changed that, because that's, again, you have to speak up and say, hey, I don't appreciate that. And now he says, don't ever feel like you can, if your mom says no, don't come to me to try to get a different answer. Your mom and I are on the same team. And so that has been a big help and a big shift that we've had to make. But that came from communication. Me saying like, hey, don't do that. It makes me feel like a bad cop all the time.
Well, Chia does this thing when we just had this conversation the other day. So when he's on the phone or when he's working or anything, I tell the children so they understand their dad's not just ignoring them. I'm like, your dad's on the phone. Like, be respectful. He's on the phone. You need to be quiet. I don't just say be quiet. I'm like, I explain to them why. But like when I'm doing something, he just says, leave your mom alone. Like, and I hate that, because I feel like, first of all, it's not about them leaving me alone. It's about them being mindful, respectful. Like, hey, your mom's taking a shower. Let her take a shower in peace. Right. So like his verbiage for things frustrates me, because I feel like I'm always explaining to our children, like if he has to leave and go on a work trip or that, like your dad is working, whereas he'll just say, leave your mom alone or don't bother her, like use these, like, to me it's like aggressive words, because I'm like, I don't want my children to feel like I want them to leave me alone. I
Or
want
that
them
they're bothering you.
Yes, they're not, like, that's not the case. It's that I'm actually on a call. So say your mother is working, because their memory will be, oh, dad was always working, but I had to just leave my mom alone. Like, I'm just in the room just chilling. You know what I mean? Like, that's weird.
Yeah.
So I think for me and Chia, a lot of the times it's just about how we word things and how we handle things. Like, I very much so explain things to our children, and he just says things, and it just frustrates me sometimes, because I feel like he doesn't take the extra time to think about how that stuff impacts me and my relationship with our children, where I'm always thinking about how his relationship is affected by the things that I say and do. So it's something that we definitely have to work on. It's just hard sometimes to get on the same page, but I do think that just listening to more men and speaking together with you all, even something you said earlier, I think I have to consistently remind myself that he's also experiencing things. They're also his children too. And so to just be more mindful of like how he wants to do things.
Yeah.
And you know what I mean? And how decisions make him feel. I feel like even when we say we're the primary parent, they might think that. They might feel like I provide, I'm taking care of, you guys are all safe. Like, I make sure that you're able to create a schedule and that they can do these events and do these things. So I could see from a man's perspective how if they're creating the environment for you to create the rules, it's kind of like the foundation and the walls of the house. Both of them are needed. Do you know what I mean? But the foundation could feel like, well, I'm the bottom. You can't build walls, but the walls could be like, well, this is just a floor without no walls. So I think we have to start remembering that we are equal parties in these situations. Like both parents are equally as important and equally as meaningful. And I think it will help us to not be so affected by the things that they do, because they're doing them from their position of what they think is best as well, the same way we are. Do you know what I mean?
But I was listening to what you just said, and you were like, I'm considering the words I used with Chia, and I don't feel like he's doing the same with how it affects your relationship with the kids. But as I was listening to it, I didn't think about how the relationship would affect. I think sometimes we consider those things because we can be really sensitive and we are really nurturing. We think about those things. But them kids might just be like, that's the way my dad talks.
No, they're literally like, I'll hear them repeat it to each other. Like, leave mommy alone. Daddy said, leave mommy alone. And it's like.
But are you triggered by that, or are they?
I am, but I don't like them feeling like I can see in their face. Do you know what I mean? Like if I open the door and they're like, sorry, like I don't want that. Like they're bothering me. Like it's not about that. It's just because they don't do that with their dad. When I say your dad is on the phone, they'll be like, okay, and they go in the other room. If I said, leave your dad alone, I feel like that would change the way they approach their father.
I also think these kids just give us the hard time.
They do.
They do, because I experience the same things. Like they know how to accept the boundaries from their dad, but with me, they're going to come inside. I can't use the bathroom by myself. Yeah. Like this is a tale as old as time, right? So like I think with moms, they just feel a little bit more, I don't know, kids, not every kid and not every mom, and you know, but I think for the most part, kids just feel a little bit more like they can push boundaries with their moms. Yeah. Like to be like, oh, like it's fine. I know they said leave me alone. I'm going to knock on the door anyways. Like
what I'll say about that, I think that there is some element of like triggering happening, but I also agree with you from the standpoint of I am a parent and I don't get it right all the time. Yeah. I feel like you find yourself saying something to your kids like stop or don't do that. And whatever that is, they might not even realize what that is, right? They're hitting a table and it's like annoying, or they're doing something to their brother and you're like, stop. And they don't know what, there's a level of specificity that I feel we should give our children so they understand the behavior that you're asking them to adjust. I agree.
It's like because why. I said so. It's one of those things.
It's kind of like that. Yeah. And so it's like just really that element of, I don't ever want them to think that something they're doing is wrong unless I'm very clear about what it is and why. You know, I don't want that to ever be a mistaken thing. Similar, I totally get what you're saying with leave your mom alone. If they hear that all the time, leave your mom or your daddy or whoever, like they hear that all the time, there is an element of fear or, whatever discomfort that can come with that.
Because then you become like the grumpy old bear in the cave. And maybe it is triggering for me because my dad would come home from work and he would just go to his room, and everyone knew to leave him alone because he literally did not want to be bothered because he was tired from working all day. So we felt like you start to feel like I'm bothering my parent by existing a little bit. You know what I mean? I don't want my kids to feel that way. I'm not in my room hiding from you. I'm doing something.
Yeah.
He was hiding from us. He's like that now. He'd be like, okay, I've had enough now. Ta-ta. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I don't want to have that interaction with my children or for them to ever feel like their existence is bothering me.
Yeah.
That's all.
I mean, I definitely think that like these sorts of disagreements in partnership about parenting are very jarring because you're like, oh, I love this person and we're cool. And then you're like, ugh, you want to do that with the kids? Or
Right.
you said that.
Right.
You know, it's very jarring because then the 18 years flashes before your eyes. You're like, we got to keep having this conversation.
I just had a flashback to when Cameron was 2. And by the way, Cameron never had sugar as a baby and like he never ate meat or anything like that. And I went out of town one weekend and Jared sends me a picture of Cameron eating a Sonic the Hedgehog ice cream thing with all the blue. It was all over his mouth from the ice cream truck, which was hella sketchy that used to come around our neighborhood. And I used to be like,
was cocaine.
I was like, you did what? And you waited for me to go. But the way I was just like, oh
Unhinged.
my God. I was inside. But I was like, what am I gonna do? I'm like, he survived. That's his dad. And also at the same time, like I wanted to be like, don't give my son. And I was like, wait, that's his son. But also
you didn't get mad at him for it.
I mean, I told him, I was like, why would you give him this stuff? Like, we actually don't give him this
Right.
stuff. But at the same time, like that's those moments. It's like, we know we don't give him this stuff, but you chose to give it to him today.
Yeah.
But you're still his parent. And I wasn't there. And I'm like, oh, okay. And that's when I realized, like, you can be aligned and then all of a sudden one person just does something that's just
or
like,
maybe our husbands are who did I say this to? Was one of you, I can't remember, but maybe our husbands are just
trolling
evil.
us?
No.
Trolling us?
No. I think it was you. What did I say? It was so good because I was like, we get so frustrated with them about how they do things, right? And how we feel like we're accommodating them. I don't think we ever realize that sometimes they are accommodating us. Sometimes. Like that we could have deficits that they don't vocalize. Do you know what I mean?
We just
like,
say
I think
it.
that was me this morning.
Yeah. Okay. So we just vocalize how we are our distaste or whatever, you know, like our frustration with them, right? But like, let's just say like our husband could be irritated that we don't cook. But they don't say anything because we provide all these other things. It was you. We were talking about this. Yes. And
the
I was
cooking
like,
made you think of it?
Yeah. Well, listen. Well, you know, you don't cook, but it's fine. But your man does. But I'm just saying, like, let's say in our mind, because I know we got to wrap it up. But this is good because I think this will help people too to just like take a step back. Let's say in our minds we're gonna use Chia and I, for example. I won't use anybody else. Let's say for Chia, he wanted a woman who cooked, who had a fat booty, you know what I mean, who like spoke Cambodian or something like that. I don't know. And in all the other qualities that I have, I definitely don't have no fat booty. I can't speak Cambodian. It's Khmer is the name of the language. Sorry. But I do cook. So for him, maybe it does agitate him a little bit that I don't have 2 of these qualities, but he doesn't mention it because I have all the other qualities that he wants. He would never say it to me. He doesn't bring it up to me, the deficits that I have. But for me, whenever he does something that I don't like, I'm going to say it, right? Or I'll bring up the deficits that he has. So I do think that sometimes some men may feel like irritated when we bring up their flaws because they're not always bringing up ours. They're in their mind, they're like, I accept the fact that you are lacking some of the things that I could have wanted in my dream girl. And I'm happy and I just accept you for who you are. So why can't you just accept me for who I am? Why do you have to keep bringing up the things that I'm not doing correctly? Because I don't bring up the fact that you know what I mean, don't got no tiny waist or that you ain't giving me head every other day or whatever it is that they may want. I do think that sometimes as women, we have to check ourselves because we can, and I'm saying this, not all women are like this, but I think, let's talk about married women, right? I think we can feel like we are in the right and that we need all of our needs met. And I don't think we ever think about the fact that our husbands may not be getting all of their needs met and they're not saying anything about it. And so sometimes I do think, this is in my evolved marriage talk, right? That I'm just getting to this place today. Okay. That was God. He was saying, right, girl, ding. I do think that we have to start checking ourselves and being like, is my man getting all his needs met? Before I start mentioning all of the things that he's doing wrong, I think that we got to evaluate, is it even worth bringing up? Is it even worth saying anything? And is it that big of a deal? Because that could be their level of frustration, and sometimes why they don't change some things, because they're like, get out of my face with this shit. You know what I mean? I'm not talking to you about all the things you do wrong, so why you keep bringing up that stuff to me? So I don't know. I think it's worth thinking about in marriage and parenting and all of that. Like, before you start doing all of this, make sure that you are not lacking in some areas too. Just saying.
I'm going to say this episode is going to track very well with men's.
I was about to say, cut that social clip.
I'm like, cut that clip, put it up. Men's, we have space for you in the Mama's Den. Come on. Ashley has a space deep in her heart for you, apparently.
No, I mean, I've just been trying to check myself.
No, but it is actually true. And that I think even goes back to the concept, to bring it full circle, about parenting, right? It's just like, two things can be true. And sometimes we do get caught up in the deficiency or the lack of our needs being met, that we forget our partners don't have needs. But I also say with your chest, because if you're going to internalize all the things that you don't feel like are being met, and you're going to be aggressive, or you're going to lash out, or you're going to be irritated, or you're going to be petty, or you're going to say, I'm not meeting your needs anymore because my needs aren't being met, but you haven't said that out loud. Therapy, my friends, men and women, and men specifically, I need from the other side of that is for them to how to be less avoidant, and be more direct as far as like, say it, like be open to communication. Because sometimes I think that is a difference between men and women too. Like where you're like, I'm expressing all my things and he's not.
But
they might also feel like it does not need to be expressed, and so that might be also why they are frustrated when we bring up things. Because if they're meeting the basic things.
No, Tommy definitely is like, if everything's a problem, then nothing's a problem. Like, he's like, stop, don't bring up everything. Girl. Just like, what are your real issues that you want me to work on?
I agree. Therapy is important. I think get to the core of it all, but also
Therapy.
Like they need to speak up, but we also don't have to say everything all the time.
Agreed.
I'm talking about myself personally.
In all relationships.
No, I'm gonna bring up everything about everybody else.
I love it.
Not you.
I love it.
All right. Well, I love that. We were like helpful. I hope.
I hope.
You know what?
Right,
I don't hope. Write us, review us, send us do a rating.
Let us know how great we did.
Exactly. That's what we're here for.
5 stars, 5 stars, 5 stars.
On the YouTube, on the Apple Podcast, on the Spotify podcast.
Stop being a granny.
Send us an email at podcasts
with an S
at blacklove.com, or DM